So let me pull it up here. So this is the NVIDIA app. So this is the home screen here. So when you get to the home screen, this will show you your installed applications. It detects the applications. You can also launch or install the various other NVIDIA software. So for example, if you have iCat, which is the image quality and analysis tool, you can open it from here. NVIDIA Broadcast, which we use on every stream here, you can install and or open that here, as well as other ones like FrameView, for example. So this is the home screen. Now if you head over to the driver section, this is pretty similar to GeForce Experience. Obviously, you can install the latest driver. It'll automatically download the latest driver as well if you choose to do so in the options. But one kind of really cool feature about this page, which is new, is it gives you much more information about what is new in the new driver. So if you're not on the latest driver, or maybe if you are on the latest driver, you can see everything that was fixed in this driver and also the new features that are in this driver as well. My picture is blocking some of it, but you get the idea. So this is pretty cool because when a new driver comes out, this is a really quick way to see exactly what's new in that driver. All right, so that is the driver section. Now, if we go over to the graphics section here, this is where you can configure the graphic settings for your individual games, or you can set a global profile. So you can see here's all the games that I have installed. I got a lot of games installed. And you can configure these individually as a profile. So if you want to have ambient occlusion in one game and not another game, you can do that here. You can also optimize the game. So if you don't want to mess around with the settings, if you hit this optimize button, it will automatically detect your system and set the optimal settings for it, which is really cool. Of course, you can configure them individually as well if you're a power user, or you can head over to the global settings option here, and here is where you can set settings that will affect all of your applications. So you do see an option here for RTX dynamic vibrance, like we talked about earlier, and we have RTX HDR. So RTX HDR, right now for me it's grayed out because I do not have HDR enabled on my display because we are streaming. But if I was not streaming and I had HDR enabled in Windows, then you would see the on-off there. Now do keep in mind for RTX HDR, you do want to make sure that auto HDR is disabled within Windows. You do need to have HDR enabled, but auto HDR needs to be disabled, and of course HDR needs to be disabled from within the game if it has HDR, if you wish to use RTX HDR. You do need to have, it does currently only support one monitor as well, but we are working on adding support for a multi-monitor in the future. How do you get the app? So you can see the pinned comment from Yoshi. You can download it there. What is the difference between creator and for gamers? Okay, so you're talking about the driver section here. So there are two options. There is a game ready driver and there is a studio driver. So the drivers are the same. The game ready driver will typically keep you more up to date because typically the drivers have more support for, like every new driver that comes out is usually focused on adding new game support. Now, if you are a studio user, maybe you don't need to update your drivers that often, so you can choose the studio option, which will make sure that your system is up to date and optimized for studio devices or studio applications. If you want to stay on if you want to be on the latest driver always, then make sure to choose the game ready driver. Does Instant Replay support HDR? Not currently. Yes, sorting options. So there is a number of features that we are looking at adding. Again, it is a beta. There is quite a few features that we are looking to improve and or add to this. So you'll continue to see new updates to the NVIDIA app as new features are added. All right, so that's a little bit about the graphics settings. So there's another setting here. Oh, I do want to mention that this application does not require any logins. Now, there is one section in this application that does require a login, and that is this one right here, which is the redeem section. So the redeem section does require a login, because here's where you would redeem like a game bundle. If your card came with a game, you would redeem that here. If there's any special promotions going on, you would redeem that here as well. There is actually a special promotion going on right now for Call of Duty. So if you have the NVIDIA app and you go to the redeem section, you will see an option for Call of Duty that will give you, I think it's a double XP pass, so you can check that out. And then we have the settings, which just tell you details about your system. You can also configure this to automatically download the latest drivers. You can have it change where your games are located, so it makes sure to find the latest game or find when you install new games, etc., etc. All right, so that's a little bit about Studio, but that's only really half of it, because there is an entirely new overlay as well. So let me show you what that one looks like. So for that one, I need to go here. All right, hopefully that worked. So the new overlay you can activate by pressing Alt-Z. So when you press Alt-Z, this is the new overlay. Previously in GeForce Experience, it was kind of in the center of the screen. So now this is off to the side. It's, in my opinion, a lot sleeker, easier to use, and better layout as well, and new features here as well. So you see your gallery here, which will show you the latest screenshots that you have taken. You can start or stop a capture here, but you can also use the hotkey, which is Alt F9. But you can also just click it here. Instant replay, which will automatically save. You can configure the last 5 minutes or so of your gameplay, so you never miss a cool headshot. I don't get too many of those, but if I do get it, I want to make sure I capture it, so I have that on. So you can take a screenshot here. You can enter photo mode if the game supports it. Highlights if the game supports it as well. Highlights is supported in some games, which will automatically capture cool events that are in the game. And your game filters. So in game filters, you have a bunch of different options here. This is where you can also configure dynamic vibrance, RTX HDR. You can also set a bunch of different game filters as well, different colors. You can set the game black and white. You can change the saturation, contrast, brightness, etc. And then we have the new statistics overlay, which is this one right here. So this has gotten a huge improvement. So here you can set the statistics that you want to see. You can set your basic, you can set advanced, you can customize it. And this will be for your overlay, so I'll show you what it looks like. So I'll set it to basic here, and if you hit this configure heads-up display, so if you see in the top center there, that is my statistics overlay. I can configure the position of it. You can put this virtually anywhere on the screen. So you can set your horizontal position, you can set your vertical position. What's the difference between GeForce Experience and the NVIDIA Beta? So the NVIDIA Beta, if you install the NVIDIA App Beta, it will replace GeForce Experience. It's a much better layout, new features as well. Like we're showing this overlay here, which is completely new. You can also change the layout. So here I have it set to linear, but you can change it to double, so it basically double stacks the stats, or you can set it to stacked. This is how GeForce Experience used to look. Linear, I like linear because it stays out of the way. You can also change the invisibility. So this is the enhanced visibility. If you change it to standard visibility, you can see it's a lot smaller and even more out of the way, but a little bit harder to read, especially if you're streaming. I typically use the enhanced. So that is that. And then let me set this back here. All right, so one more thing about video capture. Oops, didn't mean to do that. So one more thing about video capture is there is a new setting here as well. So now you can capture up to 120 frames per second, which is awesome. So you can capture 4K 120 FPS. You can also capture 8K at 60 frames per second. So 4K 120 FPS is supported. Let's see. I think that covers pretty much all of it. So like I said, it is a beta. And if you do have feedback for this beta, all you need to do is click this right here. Oh, no, sorry. This one right here to give us some feedback on the beta. We are collecting all of that, and we'll be adding more features in the future.